While my friends promised to keep my secrets, I was setting a trap to see who would break. Vanessa had been my nemesis since sophomore year of high school. Different friend groups, different worlds. But somehow she always knew my business. Every embarrassing moment, every private struggle, every vulnerability I shared confidence eventually reached her ears. And she weaponized all of it. For months, I couldn't figure out the source. My secrets were sacred. I only shared them with my 3 closest friends, Sarah, Emily, and Jessica. We've been inseparable since freshman year. Sleepovers, road trips, countless nights crying on each other's shoulders. One of them was betraying me. Confronting them directly would be pointless. They'd all deny it. The snake would burrow deeper. I needed proof. I remembered reading about a technique called the Canary Trap. Intelligence agencies use it to catch leakers. You give different people slightly different versions of sensitive information. When the leak surfaces, the specific version reveals the source. I decided to set my own trap. I invited each friend for coffee individually. Over 3 consecutive days. 3 separate conversations. 3 different lies. Tuesday afternoon. I met Sarah at our favorite cafe. I waited until we were alone, then lowered my voice. I need to tell you something, but you have to promise not to tell anyone. Not even Emily or Jessica. Sarah leaned in, eyes wide. Of course, you know you can trust me. I took a shaky breath. I'm pregnant. I just found out. I'm not ready to tell anyone else yet. She gasped, grabbed my hand. Oh my God. I'm here for you. I swear on my life this stays between us. Wednesday, I met Emily at a different coffee shop. Same setup, different lie. Promise me this stays secret. Always said my great aunt passed away. She left me a huge inheritance. I'm buying a luxury car next week. But I don't want anyone knowing about the money yet. Emily squealed quietly. That's amazing. Your secret is safe with me. Thursday, I sat with Jessica in her apartment. You have to swear you won't tell a soul. I swear, she said solemnly. I got offered a job in Paris. I'm moving to Europe next month. I haven't told anyone because I'm still processing it. Just hugged me tight. I'll miss you so much. But I won't say a word until you're ready. 3 friends, 3 lies, 3 promises. Then I waited 48 hours of watching my phone, monitoring Vanessa's social media, analyzing every interaction for signs. Saturday night, we all attended. The annual summer solstice bonfire at the quarry. It was the kind of event where the social hierarchy of our town was on full display. Firelight dancing on red solo cups, the bass of a Bluetooth speaker thumping against the chest, and the shadows providing cover for secrets to change hands. I arrived late by design. I wanted them to be comfortable. I wanted the liquor to be flowing. I spotted my trio, Sarah, Emily, and Jessica, sitting on a log near the edge of the firelight. They waved me over, smiles plastered on their faces. Sarah scooted over to make room for me. We saved you a spot, Sarah chirped, handing me a drink. Where have you been? Just family stuff. I lied smoothly. I scanned the crowd. Across the fire, standing with her court of sycophants, was Vanessa. She looked immaculate as always, wearing a white sundress that somehow remained pristine in the dirt and ash. She was laughing at something a guy said, but her eyes were scanning the perimeter. Like a shark. Our eyes locked. Usually, Vanessa would smirk and look away, dismissing me. Tonight, her gaze lingered. It was a look of predatory amusement. A look that said, I have something on you. My heart hammered against my ribs. Which one? I thought. Which one is it? I took a sip of my drink, trying to steady my hands. I turned to my friends. So, I said casually, anything interesting happen while I was gone? Not really, Jessica said, checking her phone. Just the usual drama. Emily's been talking about maybe getting a new car, Sarah added, nudging Emily. My stomach tightened. Was that a slip? Or just a coincidence? I looked at Emily. Oh, just thinking about it, Emily shrugged. My Honda is dying. It was vague. It wasn't the luxury inheritance lie. I relaxed slightly. Then I saw Vanessa walking toward us. The crowd seemed to part for her. She wasn't coming to start a fight. She was coming to gloat. That was her favorite sport. She stopped right in front of me, ignoring the others. The firelight cast long, dancing shadows across her face. Hey guys, Vanessa said, her voice dripping with faux sweetness. She looked directly at me. You look tired, babe. You feeling okay? I'm fine, I said, my voice steady. Vanessa tilted her head. She reached out and, with a finger perfectly manicured in blood-red polish, tapped the rim of the plastic cup in my hand. Are you sure you should be drinking that? She whispered, loud enough for my circle to hear. You know, considering the condition you're in? The world stopped. The fire went silent. The pregnancy. It was Sarah. I didn't look at Sarah. I didn't flinch. I just stared at Vanessa. I don't know what you're talking about. Vanessa laughed, a tinkling, cruel sound. Oh please. Don't play coy. We all know you're knocked up. Better start looking for baby names instead of chasing boys, right? She winked, spun on her heel, and walked away, her laughter trailing behind her like smoke. I sat there frozen. The trap had snapped shut. The canary was dead. I slowly turned my head to the left. Sarah was staring at the ground. She was picking at the label of her beer bottle, refusing to meet my eyes. Her face was flushed a deep, guilty crimson that the firelight couldn't hide. Emily and Jessica looked confused. What did she mean? Jessica asked. Pregnant? You're not. No, I said, my voice cold and hard as iron. I'm not. I stood up. I looked down at Sarah. Sarah, can I talk to you? Now. I didn't wait for an answer. I walked away from the bonfire, toward the treeline where the cars were parked. I heard Sarah scrambling to catch up, her footsteps crunching on the gravel. Wait, listen to me. Sarah's voice was high, bordering on panic. I spun around when we reached my car. We were alone in the dark, save for the distant glow of the fire. You swore, I said. It wasn't a scream. It was a statement of fact. Tuesday. The cafe. You grabbed my hand. You swore on your life. Sarah was crying now. I didn't mean to. It just slipped out. Vanessa cornered me in the bathroom at school, and she was asking about you, Anne. Stop. I cut her off. Don't lie to me. Vanessa didn't guess. You gave it to her. You fed it to her. Sarah stuttered, wiping her nose. She was just being nice to me. She invited me to her pre-party. I just wanted to fit in, okay? I thought if I gave her something small, she'd like me. I didn't think she'd say it to your face. Something small. I stepped closer. A pregnancy isn't small, Sarah. It's life-altering. You thought ruining my reputation was a fair trade for a seat at Vanessa's table? Sarah looked up, and for a second, the mask of the weeping friend slipped. I saw something else in her eyes. Resentment. Why is it such a big deal? She snapped, her voice trembling with sudden anger. You tell us everything, but you always act like you're perfect. I wanted to have something you didn't. I wanted to be the one who knew something. So you sold me out. I didn't think it was true, she blurted out. What? I didn't think you were actually pregnant. You're too careful. I thought you were lying for attention, so I told Vanessa to make fun of you. The breath left my lungs. It was worse than I thought. She didn't just betray a secret. She betrayed me because she despised me. She thought I was a liar, so she fed me to the wolf to be mocked. You're right, Sarah, I said softly. I'm not pregnant. She froze. What? I'm not pregnant. And I'm not moving to Paris, and I didn't get an inheritance. Sarah's eyes went wide. I don't understand. Emily thinks I'm rich. Jessica thinks I'm moving. You think I'm pregnant. I told you all different lies on purpose. I smiled, but there was no joy in it. I wanted to see which one of you was the rat. And you didn't just bite the cheese, Sarah. You swallowed the whole trap. Sarah's face drained of color. She looked sick. You tested us? And you failed. I unlocked my car door. Wait. Sarah grabbed my arm. Please don't tell the others. Emily and Jess, they'll hate me. We're a group. We've been friends since freshman year. No, I said, shaking her hand off. We haven't been friends. I have been a friend. You have been a spy. If you tell them, I'll deny it, she hissed, the desperation turning ugly. I'll tell them you're crazy. I'll tell them you are pregnant, and you got an abortion. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I had never known her at all. Go ahead, I said. But remember, Sarah, I didn't just catch you. I own you now. I got in the car and drove away, leaving her standing in the dust. Sunday morning was a blur of notifications. My phone was blowing up. Texts from random numbers, DMs on Instagram. The rumor mill was churning at maximum efficiency. Is it true? Who's the dad? I heard you were drinking last night. Trashy. I didn't respond to anyone. I sat in my kitchen, drinking black coffee, plotting. Around noon, Emily and Jessica came over. They didn't call first. They just showed up, looking worried. We need to talk, Jessica said, marching into my living room. Sarah is freaking out. She said you guys got into a fight last night, and you drove off. She said you accused her of spreading rumors, Emily added, sitting on the arm of the couch. But she swears she didn't say anything to Vanessa. I looked at my two remaining friends. They were loyal. I knew that now. The Canary Trap had cleared them. Sit down, I said. I told them everything. I told them about the trap. I told them about the lie I told Emily, the inheritance, and the lie I told Jessica, Paris. Jessica's jaw dropped. Wait. So you're not moving to France? No. And you're not buying a Mercedes? Emily asked, looking slightly disappointed but mostly relieved. No. I'm broke and I'm staying right here. They looked at each other, processing the information. Then the realization hit them. Sarah knew about the pregnancy, Jessica whispered. That's why Vanessa made that comment about the drink. Exactly, I said. That bitch. Emily stood up, pacing. I trusted her. She sat there and listened to me cry about my breakup last week, and she's been feeding Vanessa intel this whole time. Since sophomore year, I said. Think about it. Every time we had a secret, Vanessa knew. Sarah has been the leak for 3 years. Jessica looked heartbroken. Why? Jealousy, I said. And she wanted to be popular. Vanessa was her ticket. So what do we do? Emily asked, her eyes narrowing. Do we confront her? No, I said, leaning forward. We don't confront her. Not yet. Sarah threatened to tell everyone I had an abortion if I outed her. She's desperate. If we attack her now, she goes nuclear. So we just let her get away with it? No, I smiled, a cold, sharp feeling settling in my chest. Sarah is useful. She thinks she's safe because I haven't outed her yet. She thinks she can still play both sides. And Vanessa? Vanessa thinks I'm a pregnant, lying mess. I looked at my friends. We're going to use Sarah to destroy Vanessa. The plan was simple, but it required perfect acting. For the next 2 weeks, we pretended everything was normal. I forgave Sarah. I told her I was just hormonal and stressed about the baby. Sarah bought it. Or, at least, she wanted to buy it because it was easier than facing the consequences. She fell back into the group dynamic, but I saw the way she watched me. She was reporting back to Vanessa. I knew this because Vanessa's taunts changed. She started making comments about morning sickness and baggy clothes. It's working, I told Emily and Jessica in our secure group chat, which Sarah was not a part of. She's relaying everything. Now we needed the payload. We needed a lie so juicy, so destructive, and so verifiable that when Vanessa spread it, she would legally implicate herself. We found it in Mr. Henderson. Mr. Henderson was the new AP history teacher. He was young, attractive, and strictly professional. Vanessa had a massive crush on him. She sat in the front row, stayed after class, tried to flirt. He shut her down every time. Here's the script. I told the girls. On a Friday afternoon, we were having a study session at my house. Sarah was there. I waited until we were deep in conversation, then dropped the bomb. I found something, I whispered, pulling out a folder I had mocked up. You guys know how I work in the main office during free period? Yeah. Sarah leaned in, her eyes hungry. I found a file on Mr. Henderson. He's not who he says he is. What do you mean? Jessica asked, her acting Oscar-worthy. He was fired from his last school. I lowered my voice to a hush. For having an inappropriate relationship with a student. A girl named Veronica. Sarah gasped. No way. Yes way. And get this, there are photos. The administration is trying to bury it, but I saw the disciplinary report. They're keeping him on probation. That is insane, Emily said. If people knew. Nobody can know, I said, staring directly at Sarah. This is serious. This isn't gossip. This is his career. If this gets out, he could sue the school. Or go to jail. We cannot say a word. I promise, Sarah said. My lips are sealed. I watched her. I saw the calculation. She wasn't thinking about Mr. Henderson's career. She was thinking about Vanessa. Vanessa, who hated being rejected by Henderson. Vanessa, who would love nothing more than to destroy the man who ignored her. It took less than 24 hours. Sarah must have run to Vanessa immediately. And Vanessa, blinded by her own ego and vindictiveness, didn't bother to fact-check. To her, this was the ultimate weapon. She could ruin the teacher who rejected her and look like the girl in the know. By Monday morning, the rumor wasn't a whisper. It was a roar. Vanessa had posted a blind item on her private Snapchat story, which everyone screenshotted. Then she started telling people in the cafeteria. She added details. She claimed she had seen the photos. She claimed she knew the girl. By third period, Mr. Henderson was called into the principal's office. By fourth period, the police were at the school. I sat in the library with Emily and Jessica, watching the chaos unfold. Is it happening? Jessica asked nervously. It's happening, I said. Mr. Henderson was popular and squeaky clean. The administration didn't just investigate him. They investigated the source of the rumor. Because the disciplinary report I described to Sarah? It didn't exist. There was no Veronica. Mr. Henderson had transferred from an all-boys Catholic school where he was a debate coach. The lie was demonstrably false. And it was slander. Vanessa was pulled out of class in handcuffs. Well, metaphorically, she was escorted by the vice principal and a school resource officer. Her parents were called. Mr. Henderson was threatening a defamation lawsuit. Vanessa, panic-stricken and cornered in the principal's office, did exactly what I knew she would do. She didn't take the fall. She screamed. I didn't make it up. Sarah Miller told me. She saw the file. The summons came during 6th period. Sarah Miller to the principal's office. I saw Sarah stand up in biology class. She looked like she was walking to the gallows. She looked back at me, terror in her eyes. I just smiled and waved a tiny little wave. I was called in an hour later, along with Emily and Jessica. Principal Skinner sat behind his desk. Vanessa was there, eyes red and puffy, sitting next to her furious mother. Sarah was in another chair, sobbing uncontrollably. Sarah claims you told her this information, the principal said, looking at me. She claims you saw a file in the office. I looked at Sarah. Then I looked at Vanessa. I don't know what she's talking about, I said calmly. Liar, Sarah shrieked. You told us on Friday, in your living room. Sarah, I said gently, using the same tone one uses with a confused child. Friday? We were studying for the chem midterm. We didn't talk about Mr. Henderson. Why would I say that? Because you hate Vanessa. Sarah yelled. I don't hate Vanessa, I said. I barely talked to her. But Sarah has been acting really weird lately. I turned to the principal. Sir, Sarah has been spreading rumors about me for weeks. She told everyone I was pregnant. She told people Emily inherited a fortune. She told people Jessica was moving to Paris. She's been making up lies about all of us for attention. Emily stepped forward. It's true. She told me she made up the pregnancy rumor because she was jealous of us. Jessica nodded. She's a pathological liar, sir. We've been trying to distance ourselves from her. Sarah looked around the room, the walls closing in. But Vanessa knows. Vanessa knows the pregnancy rumor came from me. Exactly, I said. You told Vanessa a lie about me. And now you told her a lie about Mr. Henderson. It seems like you and Vanessa have a habit of spreading things without checking if they're true. Vanessa's mother stood up. My daughter is a victim of this girl's lies, she pointed at Sarah. Your daughter, Mr. Henderson said from the doorway, where he had been listening, spread a rumor that could have ruined my life. I don't care who started it. She broadcasted it. The fallout was nuclear. Vanessa was suspended for 2 weeks for bullying and defamation. Her parents settled quietly with Mr. Henderson to avoid a lawsuit, but her social standing was obliterated. She wasn't the queen bee anymore. She was the girl who tried to ruin a teacher's life because he rejected her. She became radioactive. Sarah got it worse. She confessed. Under pressure from the administration and her own parents, she admitted she never saw a file. She admitted she was the source. She was expelled. Her parents sent her to a boarding school 3 states away to start over. The day she left, she came to my house. She stood on the porch, bags under her eyes. You set me up, she whispered through the screen door. I tested you. I said, not opening the door. You failed the test. Then you failed the second chance. I was your best friend. No, I said. You were a leak. And I plugged it. She left without another word. I walked back into the living room where Emily and Jessica were waiting. We had snacks, movies, and a silence that felt cleaner, lighter than it had in years. Is she gone? Jessica asked. She's gone, I said. Good, Emily said, opening a bag of chips. So what's the plan for next year? I smiled, taking a seat between them. Next year? We enjoy the silence. And we keep our secrets. I looked at my phone. Vanessa had posted a vague, angry quote on Instagram about fake people. I liked the post. Then I blocked her. The trap was empty. The canary was free. And I finally truly had my life back.